Hi, this is Bill Taylor. You know, it's time to take a look back. This past legislative session was productive in bringing about conservative reform that was called for by you and others. By all measures, the South Carolina House accomplished the most ambitious and comprehensive agenda in decades. Not all the legislation we passed has made it through the state Senate, but I'm hopeful that they'll follow our lead and during the next legislative session give a yes vote to what we did. We Republicans in the House of Representatives focused reforms on the #1 priority. That's building South Carolina private sector jobs and the economy. As example, the House enacted lawsuit abuse reform. That'll help stop the frivolous lawsuits that burden businesses and will make our state much more competitive. The House also passed legislation which will make it easier for businesses to get capital that they need to grow and expand. We tackled the controversial point-of-sale reform to bring fairness to property taxes and to strengthen our state's real estate market. Our successful agenda also included transparency and government reforms. The very first week of the session, we passed a bill putting every legislative vote on the record. You'll always know how we vote. In fact, you can find it, my record and voting record, right on my website. We passed the Higher Education Transparency Act so you can see how colleges and universities spend every taxpayer dollar. The House passed many government restructuring items as well, and they'll make for a more efficient state government. They include having the governor and lieutenant governor run on the same ticket, having the governor appoint the state superintendent of education, combining the Department of Probation, Pardon, and Parole with the Department of Corrections, and creating a Department of Administration that gives much greater authority to the governor to run the day-to-day operations of state government. The House also passed a spending limitations bill that caps budget spending. We voted to shorten the legislative session to save taxpayers money. And very importantly, we passed the voter ID reform bill to ensure the integrity of our voting process here in South Carolina. Then the House also passed some pro-life protections, and that's a good thing. We took on education reform. We passed education funding reform to get more money to the classrooms and to the kids. We passed the charter school revisions that will strengthen the choice of parents so they can choose the best educational programs for their children. We also took steps to limit government power. We passed the South Carolina Taxpayer Fairness Act to defend the rights of all taxpayers. And finally, we passed illegal immigration reform the very last week of the session, and that's a good thing. I'm proud to have been part of the success in passing the Republican House Caucus agenda. You asked for conservative reform, and we delivered.